What is going on, everyone? My name is Boit and I am back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action. Spawning on the top of the map in the blue color, playing as Gaia. His name is Skady. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Isis. His name is Kimo. The map is Mediterranean. It's currently 2-1 in this best of 5 series for the losers finals in favor of Skady. Taking that last game with some incredible Zeus play. Both players changing up their gods on this map. It's a very interesting map. We are seeing the Isis from Kimo and the Gaia from Skady. Most people consider Gaia a pretty low tier god, and a lot of people have been saying that Isis is it has kind of fell from her throne as the top tier Egyptian god for quite some time. It's kind of more like Set, Ra. Isis is kind of the Egyptian tier list at the moment. But on water maps, specifically Mediterranean, Midgard, well, I guess all of the water maps, Isis does have a very strong showing because of the prosperity. To get into that with more detail, basically the idea is you get such an influx of food from the fish that you can't spend as Isis or as Egyptian, and you generally fall behind on gold. So the prosperity comes into play really huge in the mid-classical age, when you need to get that 500 gold really quick to advance to the heroic age or get 3 town centers or anything of that matter. So what we've been seeing from Isis players, not so much on this map, but on we have a little bit of a random idle villager here from Kimo, but not so much on Mediterranean because it's a very aggressive map, but on like Midgard and Anatolia where you have back fish-ish, then you can get away with some very crazy semi-fast heroics or fast 2 town centers. This villager is going to be idle for so long. That's really bad. That's got to hurt quite a bit. Or picks off the Oracle. Doesn't matter. Now, the question you need to ask yourself here is, now we're seeing Skady also pick what is considered the lowest tier of Atlantean gods. So we're kind of seeing the low tiers of each. You can argue that Egyptian is not a low tier Civ, therefore not in the same situation as the Skady here. But Gaia has some incredible advantages over the other Atlanteans on Mediterranean specifically. For example, you get 45 wood fishing ships. You get access to Oceanus, which gives you access to some stuff. What's it called? The Carnivora and the Servant, which is some really strong things. We're now seeing the Oceanus coming out. We're going for a 4-minute advance time. This is going to be huge. We've already got 2 docks set up for Kimo. So this was a little bit after 4-minute advance time, but you can't do this advance time as Uranus or as Kronos. Normally you're looking at, you kind of go up at 320 rather than the 310. So you get kind of 10 more seconds of advance time just because you have less wood on the fishing ships and things like that. So we're just going to be seeing what looks like Skady getting really hyper aggressive here and trying to shut down the dock spam from Kimo. And we're seeing the temple coming up for Kimo. Kimo looking like he's trying to advance. He's going to be a little bit behind. This temple build, this build order, not quite the best. You can get this temple up at 4 minutes without 3 villages. Without 3 villages on that. You do see him, he's going up straight on the 5 minutes. So it is a good advance time. You do want to be advancing at 5 minutes on this map, but he's short docks and he's going to be trying to get up a 3rd dock somewhere at some point. Maybe he's going to hide it, or he's going to go for 2 town centers. No, it looks like he's fighting water a little bit. And now we see Skady coming forward with the servant. See the villager or the laborer getting that dock up, and the servant's going to spot that one out instantly. The Barima is going to come in to harass that villager, prevent this dock from coming up, and Kimo is just going to garrison some of those. Oh, he's got to attack the villager. Kimo's going to garrison some fishing ships in here. And try and kill this villager, which is going to prevent it from doing that. Now the Carnivora is going to be attacking the dock here. I don't hate this, but you can actually use the carnivore on land, and then the dock can't fight back. We see early prosperity here from Kimo. Is he short gold? He's short a little bit of gold, but it's not anything significant. Prefer to see that prosperity come a little bit later. So he's sending the Pharaoh forward. I hate this as, well, I mean, I love it as Egyptian. You can't defend against this without having to spend resources on a barracks or anything else. You basically have to get up watchtowers, and this Pharaoh is going to come in and start harassing the villagers. We are seeing that Plague of Serpents comes down. The dock trying to keep pumping out. We are seeing this dock coming very, very low. The villager going to get this third dock up, which is really big. The carnivore about to get picked off. No instant kills from that carnivore either. Now we are seeing cabinets versus bareems. Pharaoh doing the damage, almost dying to town center fire. They're going to have to get out of there at this point. Even if he harasses a little bit. I think this citizen 3.25 versus 4. I guess you can harass a little bit and run away. Anubite coming in now. This is the other thing that is kind of worrisome for Gaia, in that you don't get a myth unit to defend against the enemy's free myth unit. You only get the carnivore. So we're going to see the Anubite running in here. We do see an Oracle get heroized to pick this guy off, and that's going to force him out of there for the time being. So nice play from Skady, remembering to keep those Oracles back in its base to deal with that. Now the cabinets doing their thing. Starting to get a little bit worrisome right now, because the spam from Skady is not going to be able to keep up with the spam from Kimo. And do we have, how's the fishing ship action? We own, well, you do have 8 fishing ships for Kimo and only 6 for Skady, but 2 of them are sitting in the dock at the moment. So we've got even fishing ships at this point, so that's fine. Nice micro so far from Kimo, keeping that event or Nubai, not Avenger, that Nubai doing some things, trying to jump out of here. The Oracle just needs to sit on the villagers. Put your villagers close to Manners. Don't chase him around. That's it's kind of bad. I guess you could fight while he's chasing him around. Is fine, I guess. Try and pick off fishing ship. Yeah, if you can get that. Oh, so close to getting that fishing ship. That sucks. If he gets that fishing ship, it's pretty big, because then he goes down to it goes down to 7 fishing ships. It makes it even more even. And now we're seeing this attack coming in. We've got the priest and the Pharaoh coming down. And the carnivore comes in, going to be helping to harass and tank damage. Doesn't tank a lot. It's only got 20% pierce armor, and you kind of have to chuck it down on top of the cabinet so you get a free kill, because its special does one-hit ships. I've got 16 of those bareems right now, taking down all of these cabinets. It's kind of looking like a bit of a close fight here. The spam from Skady is a little bit better, but his boats are a little bit worse. Only 5 attack damage versus the 6 attack damage, and also the dock. So it kind of levels the playing field there. Pharaoh, Priest, and Noob. I keep saying calling Avenger. They pick off the Oracles. A single wall getting thrown up. This is nice. It's going to allow him to be nice and defensive here. Move over onto this wood. Potentially should be okay. The Anubite jumps over, and that's going to hurt quite a bit. The bareem's coming back in as well. Looking like he's going to not get anything there. Not get any kills. Now he can kind of run the Anubite in. Tank some damage. Oh, he lost the... How? How did he lose the Pharaoh? Was the town center? Was he in range of the town center or something? That's so weird. Okay, well that's that, and now we're seeing more harass over here. Skady not reacting the best. Can just run over onto this location and be totally fine. The Anubite, as we say, can just run in, tank some damage, run out, heal, run back in, keep doing that things. It would be worth it for Skady to just build a counter barracks and make a Terma hero or something like that to deal with that. Nice micro from Kimo, bringing these bareems into range here, trying to pull him into this dock fire. Dock's only at 66 HP. You could pick that one off, it would be huge. And it's looking like Skady is starting to win this fight here. We're seeing fishing ships going down as well. Nice micro pulling back those bareem, but don't want to over micro this. You can kind of just focus fire a little bit and you'll kind of win. It's looking like we're kind of even ships here, 13 to 11 here, so kind of even. Anubite still harassing, but going to be in range of that town center. Going to have to run that citizen back into the thing there. Caladria come over and heal that one up. Should be okay. Another carnivore coming down. Again, this placement of the carnivore is really bizarre. I feel like he doesn't know how to use this. You chuck the carnivore right into the bulk of the ships and you get a free kill. It's basically bolt onto a cabinet, which if you've ever played against Zeus, you realize that that early bolt on a cabinet or on an archer ship was kind of huge. But it's looking like the aggression is still coming from Skady, but Kimo is defending quite nicely. He doesn't have that many fishing ships, and he's going to have to put villagers onto pigs and onto chicken. So the pressure's going nicely for Skady. So Skady needs to start moving into a second town center or something. We're seeing a third dock come up for Skady now, which is fine, but he needs to think about what else he can do. Oh, he's going to pick up the Anubite. Yes, he gets that Anubite. Not having to build the military barracks at all. He's chucking it down now though. But Sky's got 3 docks now, spamming those out quite powerful. It's going to be interesting. I like to delay a little bit here, but it's looking like Skady is putting enough pressure on. There's only 2 fishing ships left, so I feel like I can't get much more out of aggressive action here from Skady, just because there's only 2 fishing ships. So it's fine. Back up, let the cabinets mass and get your 2 town centers up and delay your Barim production until they start going up, and stop throwing away units. You can fight underneath your docks. That's totally fine. You've got enough villagers now to grab pigs, and we are seeing villagers run over to this town center now, so Skady is going for that one. No, he's going for the gold mine, I tell a lie. He also needs to think about getting those economic upgrades, but the longer this game goes on, the kind of better position that Kimo's in, because he's going to start abusing that Egyptian-ness. I'm not seeing any servants getting produced either, which makes me... Oh, there's the servant. Maybe he doesn't have the favor for it or something. These servants are a bit interesting. They have a special ability which does 16% extra crush and hack damage. I think it's... I'm confused. I don't really know what it does, but it does extra damage against ships. So the 8 attack damage it says it has is not quite correct. It does there's a lot more, because it can only attack ships, basically. I mean, it can attack stuff right on the shore, but you know, whatever. Got some Mermiller coming out now. At this point, for Skady, it might be time to just say good night on the water, because your ships, while they got 7.25 speed, they don't really compete with 6.00 cabinets here. You don't really need a retreat micro against the Barims. You kind of just want to focus fire as much as you can. I find a lot of people over micro these fights, and we're seeing Kimo do it quite nicely. He's only doing mini micro here, just like only moving them a little bit, and going to be cleaning up this water quite nicely here, and still not getting that second town center. The fishing ships, there's got 3 out, so even after all of those picked, he's still got 3 left. And well, nice micro back on this Barim here, pulling into the dock. It's going to even up the fight a little bit. Caladria is sitting on top here, forcing Kimo to micro as much as he can. You want to run that one back and forth, so he doesn't get targeted. As you do see, it takes a couple of hits of damage there, and that's going to force Kimo out of here, but Kimo is starting to get a little bit scary. He does have hand axe and pickaxe over Skady. I don't think Skady's got an economic guild yet. No, he doesn't. That's the big difference right now. Because economic upgrades, while they don't matter as much as you'd think for the Nilla civilizations, for Atlantean, it is exactly what it says. It's a flat 10% upgrade. So incredibly important for Atlanteans to get them, whereas Egyptian and everyone else can kind of delay the economic upgrades until they kind of max civilian units. Because if you can grab the second town center, that's an effective 100%, or is it 100% increase? Yeah, well, every single time you get another villager out, it's an extra 100% on your gather rate, right? Not a doubling, but like you add. You know what I'm saying, right? Like you need 10 villagers to get an extra villager if you get hand axe on wood, right? So if you actually just put 11 villagers on wood, that costs 50 food, so a little bit cheaper, a little bit better. But then you get full villagers and you can't build anymore, so you need to get upgrades then. Kimo gets his down center. You can do all that good stuff. Still, Skady's trying to fight this here, and he's now behind on the town center count, and Kimo is going to start producing villagers really fast. He does need more villagers on food though. He's probably got too many villagers on gold or something like that. And the trading here is kind of going in the way of Kimo, it looks like. And Skady's going to, again, have to retreat here, and he's spending so many resources on these ships. I guess both players are spending that many resources on the ships, but it's looking like Kimo is just holding on to the water while at 2 town centers. Village is producing nice and consistently at this point. And Kimo is going to be in a good position here while Skady, he can move his Murmillo forward and start harassing. That'd be his best bet here. But he's not on top of that. He's trying to focus too much on the micro, and he's going to be losing some fishing ships as well. So not being able to produce villages. Going to have to start transitioning villages onto food and the like. But at 15 minutes right now, winning the water is not the biggest deal, and we do see that Skady has cancelled that. Kind of what you have to do if you're Skady here is grab 2 town centers, boom as hard as you can, and try and win the late game. If you lose the water, as we say, it's not the end of the world. These villages are randomly not doing anything. I think the ball picked off the Pharaoh. As we return our brain back to what happened earlier in the game, I think the ball picked off the Pharaoh. That's hell funny. But he has to like kind of garrison through the mana to get to this ball. Kimo does have 3 town centers now, so not only does he have the fish boom, which is incredibly fast. You can see he's already up to 15 fishing ships with per scene, 16 fishing ships with per scene. He's got 3 town centers to boom off of that, so it does make life significantly easier for Kimo. But it's not the most efficient food. Like, you basically only have 9 efficient fishing spots. The rest start becoming pretty bad. So it's better to have villagers in those spots rather than fishing ships. We can see some Bareems getting chucked out now for Skady. He wants to harass some of these fishing ships, which is really smart. If he can just run them around, pick off some of the fishing ships, maybe go to that heroic age at some point. He's got a way to go to get that. He's going to be farming as well. He's got some berries over here and some deer randomly in places, but Murmillo getting picked off on the shore. Nice walls from Kimo, playing nice and safe. Kimo's kind of win condition right now is simply just getting Mythic Age as fast as he possibly can, getting out Son of Osiris, and once he gets that, Gaia kind of can't do anything against that, even with the incredible economy that is Gaia. And you're seeing plow coming through, hand axe, pickaxe. These upgrades are really, really good. So Skady can kind of, there's an extra bonus in Thulu Balance Patch for Gaia. You can upgrade all of your economic upgrades without getting to the heroic age. So you can get without getting to the mythic age. You can get flood control in the archaic age. You can get quarry in the archaic age, and you can get all of the other upgrades. But generally speaking, we don't see people grabbing them until they advance. So we'll see what happens there. Needs to get those villages underway. 3 town centers are villages, unless he's like full civilian count, which is possible. Given it's almost 17 minutes into the game. A nice job from Skady to come back with these Bareems. He's going to be able to pick off some fishing ships, force some more cabinets out from Kimo, and force the fight to continue here. But I think Kimo should be going, yeah, he's going heroic age now. So that's fine, and we are not seeing a heroic age from Skady. Skady has hit max civilian supply. His economy is starting to look pretty good. So we'll see if he can match the heroic age, maybe a minute behind or something like that. It's not possible here. He's still pumping out those economic upgrades. Armor is now coming down. Gonna have to chug up some walls or something to defend. He's gonna have to deal with an ancestors and war barges as well. Lots of walls coming up for Kimo. He's not underestimating Skady here. He realizes what his win condition is, and he's going to be racing towards it. You can check out Kimo's economy. He's got so much gold. 36 villages on food, 37 on gold. Absolutely ridiculous. Bareem's getting picked off as well as Skady's trying to run them away. These are nice army position from Kimo, just able to pick off all of those. Kimo does hit that heroic age right there, and Thea is coming through. So we are only a minute behind on the heroic age, but that's going to translate to a minute behind on the mythic age as we're seeing the market coming up. The only thing is that the market does take a little while to build because of the laborers being very slow and the Pharaoh being all the way over here, not able to empower that one. Could have empowered the market up over here though. We'll see if he researches City of the Dead. Look like he's grabbing Necropolis because he doesn't have that much favor. What's going on there, Kimo? He's got 10 favor. But yeah, it's not going to be able to get City of the Dead, so that's not going to be the best. Not chucking up a Migdol either. I'd love to see some aggressive Migdol right here or something, just to try and cover this gold mine, sneak it just out of line of sight or something right here would be a good idea. And now the water is yet again completely lost for Skady's falling super far behind on the economy. There is the Mythic Age, oh sorry, the Heroic Age, and there is the Mythic Age through Osiris for Kimo. Hexbridge tree comes down instantly. Are we seeing a market? No market. How far is Skady off? He's pretty, oh there's the market. He's pretty close. He's going to be able to, he's basically going to be that minute behind. So it's not going to be as bad as you think, but I feel like even when Tartarian Gate, I'm fairly sure just Kimo can just sacrifice villagers to pick off that Tartarian Gate. The Stymphalian Bird getting picked off as well here. Does a little bit of damage to these guys. Actually does a lot of damage to these guys. That's kind of surprising. But he is gonna lose that Stymphalian Bird. And we are going to be seeing the we're seeing Atlas here. Seeing the Mythic Age through Atlas. Atlas may be the counter to Son of Osiris that I hadn't thought of before. Because Atlas is implode, right? So you can't really use Tartarian Gate on Isis because of God Power protection. We are seeing one to soldiers, one to the villagers. Could also see the other one over here, but I guess Kimo doesn't care too much about that. Villager moving forward, Migdop Stronghold coming down, has some medium spearmen with some crazy armory upgrades, and it's no armory upgrades for Skady here as he's fallen behind on that. Seeing the spearmen looking like they're ready to fight, and all of that other good stuff. Llama Caravan starting to pump out, but they get a little bit close to the shore there. You can kind of use the cabinets to help out, and the cabinets are helping out to pick off those medium Murmillo there. So this is going to be a big turnaround here, but Atlas does not offer you that much. Atlas is basically Hera. You get access to a myth unit which can one-hit stuff. You get access to a God Power which completely destroys an army, and that's about it. There's not the economic the unique technologies you get. What is it? Eyes of Atlas, which is myth unit line of sight at the best. Titan Shield, which is building hack and crash vulnerability, actually pretty good, and the upgrade to your myth unit. So it's a little bit of a desperation play. It's looking like he may have to use implode on his own base here. We do see the Son of Osiris comes through. No City of the Dead here. Which is a little bit sad. You never get to see that one. Well, you do sometimes. It's something you kind of have to see. Heavy Spearmen take down this building really fast. That's actually super surprising how much damage they do. See the Ancestors coming down. Mythic Age has come through. Son of Osiris sitting all the way over here. So really smart from Kimo to keep that one nice and far away from the Spearman. And Skady taps out. GG, well played by Kimo, managing to hold on there from the early aggression from that Gaia rush right there. Really well played from Kimo. I feel like Skady had this in the palm of his hand. He just had to make one or two more correct decisions. So the first correct decision is delay the Bareem production here. Delay it, and once you've picked off a bunch of fishing ships. If you pick off like 3 or 4 fishing ships from the Egyptian player, that's when you say, okay, I've done the damage. There is actually no way for me to win this water situation here because the archer ships are just better than mine. But if I can get the early advantage from flood, pick off a bunch of fishing ships early, grab 3 town centers off the back of it, and then I feel like you're in a pretty good position as Gaia. And then you can just race to the Heroic Age and get out some stronger ships or something, or like go for gold control, go for Titan, many different options. But I feel like Skady was just so aggressive on the water, and that just allowed Kimo to get some free damage from these docks, and the town center coming up was just too much, and that spelled a disaster for Skady. So Kimo leveling the series a 2-2. We go on to a game number 5, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed this video, please rate, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you want to see my videos as soon as they come out. My name's Boit, and I will see you guys next time.